Hi guys, let's welcome you guys back to another episode of Read with Melanin. Ding. Today we're here with a little haul. It's not really a big haul. It's more like I kind of told myself I wasn't gonna buy books and still bought books. So it's not that many, but I want to talk about them. So I just figured why not make a video and share with you guys. So without further ado, the first book. So as of what I know right now is there are 2 Black-owned bookstores here in Houston, Kindred Stories, and then there's one that's like a bookstore cafe that opened up in Katy. And so I went to my first author event at Kindred Stories to see Annie Davenport, and her book, The Blood Trials, is the book that came from that event. As you can see with the bookmark, I am actually in the process of reading this. I'm inspired enough that I've been taking notes in my reading planner, which is somewhere over here. I've been taking notes in my reading planner about like character descriptions, place descriptions and things like that, because I want to dabble. I want to try to start making fan art because I want my art to be in some of these subscription boxes and stuff. And I think the best way to do that is to start working on fan art. So Blood Trials is going to be my first attempt. If you see something that comes up from Blood Trials later on, that means I successfully did it. If not, it means I enjoyed the book and then decided not to draw. So we'll see. But the first book on the list is Blood Trials. This is about a young girl who learns that her grandfather was murdered. And so she joins the group of people that she thinks murdered her grandfather. This does have some issues with race, colorism. She also has magical abilities that other people might not have, which is a whole other thing. But so far I can say she is me. Like, she's so cocky and confident. I love it. I just love it. So if you're interested, this is a, I think they said this is like borderline YA adult fantasy, but I love it so far. So I was scrolling, I think, on Sister Sci-Fi. Might have got a couple books. So the first book that I got was Buckingham by Veronica G. Henry. I meant to buy this book a while back, but I don't know what happened. I really don't. But if you don't know what this is, it says, the carnival may roam, but the souls never leave. Abandoned by her family, alone on the wrong side of the color line with little to call her own, Eliza Meeks is coming to terms with what she does have. It's a gift for communicating with animals. Animage! To some, she's a magical tender. To others, a she-devil. To a talent prospector, she's a crowd-drawing oddity. And the Bacchanal Carnival is Eliza's ticket out of the swamp trap of Baton Rouge. Among fortune tellers, carnies, barkers, and folks even stranger than herself, Eliza indeed finds a new home. But the Bacchanal is no ordinary carnival. An ancient demon has a home there too. She hides behind an iridescent disguise. She feeds on innocent souls. And she's met her match in Eliza, who's only beginning to understand the purpose of her own bargaining powers. Only then can Eliza save her friends, find her family, and fight the sway of the primordial demon preying upon the human world. Rolling across a consuming dust bowl landscape, Eliza may have found her destiny. There's that one. 3, 2, 1. So I specifically remember Chloe talking about this, I think, either on Twitter or her channel. I don't remember which one, but I remember seeing the cover and realizing that I wanted it. I don't even know if it's good or not. It's called Old Scholars, Dr. Marvelous Jen's Old Scholars by B. Charisse Moore. So that's what the cover looks like. And it says the year 1920. When famed magician Dr. Marvelous Jen selects a motley crew of talented teens to tour her theme park of magic and mythological creatures, all are elated for the opportunity. First, there's Brenda, the kleptomaniac inventor of thingamajigs no one knew they needed. Then there's Omen, a strong man itching to prove himself in a brand new arena. Wise beyond her years, Claire is a business-savvy sage who's been making ends meet since the age of 12. And finally, there's Elliot, the chemistry whiz who believes he's one ingredient away from concocting a cure for bigotry. Once they arrive, the odd scholars realize Dr. Jin is more than just a wealthy magician eager to provide colored folks with an escape from Jim Crow. From cotton candy teleportation to haunted obelisks and swallowing monsters, the motherland packs a thrilling and dangerous punch. I'm intrigued. Don't ask me why, but for some reason I thought this was a graphic novel. And I think it's the illustrations on the front. Because the illustrations on the front, now that I realize, they like completely showcase like the main characters of the book. But for some reason, when I looked at the cover, just the cover, I assumed that this was a graphic novel. So when it came in, I was a little shocked that it was actually a chapter book. But I am excited to eventually get to this when the mood is right. So the last two books technically came from Fairy Loot. One of them came from the adult fantasy box and the other one came from the YA fantasy box. And I just have a couple comments on them, and so I figured I would just talk about them. So number one, I keep a Fairy Loot subscription because I like the pretty books, period. This book I saw going around Booktube for a while, and I don't really know what it's about, but it's called The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. It says 6 are chosen, only 5 will walk away. It is this beautiful cover. It's got gorgeous end pages. It's got really nice end papers. Very beautiful artwork of the characters, I assume. Whoever drew them, they did a really good job. Gorgeous end papers. There's foiling on the cover. Cool. The premise of this book, however, it says, welcome to the Alexandrian Society. When the world's best magicians, please hold. I don't know where that cut off, so we'll see. So I'm going to read the description again. It says, welcome to the Alexandrian Society. When the world's best magicians are offered an extraordinary opportunity, saying yes is easy. Each could join the secretive Alexandrian Society, whose custodians guard lost knowledge from ancient civilizations. Their members enjoy a lifetime of power and prestige. Yet each decade, only 6 practitioners are invited to fill 5 places. Contenders Libby Rhodes and Nico de Verona are inseparable enemies. Cosmologists who can control matter with their minds. Wow. Parisha Kamali is a telepath who sees the mind's deepest secrets. Reina Mori is a naturalist who can perceive and understand the flow of life itself. And Callum Nova is an empath who can manipulate the desires of others. And finally, there's Trishan Kane, whose powers mystify even himself. Following a recruitment by the mysterious Atlas Blakely, they travel to the Society's London headquarters. Here, each must study and innovate within esoteric subject areas. And if they can provide themselves over the course of a year, or prove themselves over the course of a year, they'll survive most of them. I am intrigued to read this book heavily, and this is an adult fantasy, and that's, like I said, I have been trying to dive more into adult fantasy, so there is that. Now, in the same breath, in the Fairy Loot box this time, we got Blood Scion, which y'all know was a book on my heavily, well, not heavily anticipated, but just a book that I was very interested in. And so I have a question for these subscription boxes who hire people to do end pages and stuff. Why is it that most of the time, whenever it's like black books, even like Legendborn, why do we always get smoke cloud backgrounds as our end papers? I mean, I'm shocked that this one actually has a person in it, but like, why? I love the idea of this. Like, I think that is pretty, but it always feels like the covers for the black books are not done with the same oomph as the other ones. Like, there's no foiling, there's no nothing, and like they did the same thing with a couple of other books. Like, I've just noticed that there's a difference. Like, for example, like this Poison Heart was another one. I don't know if this one was Owl Crate or Fairy Loot. It's been a minute. Like, as far as the covers, I think they're bright and pretty, but this one's foiled and got all these designs on it. Like there seems to be a lot more extra work done on the non-black books. Am I probably reaching? Probably so, but I have been getting enough of these pretty books to grace my bookshelf to notice that thing. So again, it's not like they watch my videos anyway, but I'm just posing the question. I don't prefer this cover over the original, but I'm glad that I didn't buy the book because I don't mind. I will say I really love the artwork of this cover, especially the way that they did this. I do like that. So yeah, so for those who don't know, it's Scion by Deborah Falayi. Words. It says, I am a descendant of Shango, the god of heat and fire. I am a living inferno. I am a dead girl walking. 15-year-old Sloane can incinerate an enemy at will. She is Scion, a descendant of the ancient Orisha gods. But under the brutal rule of the Lucas, her identity means her death. Her mother knew as much. She disappeared trying to hide Sloane's truth. Sloane too has hidden her abilities, but on her 15th birthday, she is conscripted into the Lucas army. Once taken, Sloane must not only conceal her powers, but overcome the bloody challenges of the Lucas training. But if she can infiltrate the Lucas, she could destroy her enemies, the people who think of her as less than human, the overlords responsible for her mother's disappearance. Sloane raises through the ranks and gains strength, but in doing so, risks something greater, losing herself entirely and becoming the very monster she abhors. So yeah, like I said, it's a war book. I'm down. Somebody gotta die. As long as there's a fight scene where somebody gets what's coming to them, I'll be very satisfied reading the book. But those were all of the books that I've accumulated in the past month or two. I've been doing really good, not buying a bunch of books, so I'm really proud of myself. But yeah, my question to you is, are there any books that you have to buy for the spring season? If you are excited about it and want to tell me about it, please let me know down below in the comments section. And until the next time, guys, bye.